Hey guys, you're welcome to the first episode of my podcast. And if it's your first time on my channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. That's to show that you support me. And let's Spaxx It Up. Today, I want to talk about something that people actually fail to talk about most times because they don't see it the way it is. I want to talk about domestic violence, and from the male's point of view. When it comes to domestic violence, what comes to mind most especially is a man beating a woman, a man maltreating a woman, a man hitting a woman, giving a woman black eye, or a man maltreating a woman, or a man throwing a woman out of the house. We've seen it in home videos, we've seen it in movies, and most times the only part that we get to see is the part where the woman is ill-treated, and it kind of just does justice to it, being that yes, it does happen, and we portray that it happens to the society. But in this same society, a whole lot of other things happen, like men get to be victim in these circumstances too, and not just women. I know it wouldn't be new news if I bring an example of a man who was beaten by a woman who turned out to be a boxer. About that, you might feel that's just a fairy tale. Okay, let me bring it closer to reality, my reality, and let me talk about my experience with a lady that I once dated. I would say thank God we were married, because then I'm not sure I'll be saying this right now, because most men are silenced when it comes to domestic violence that has to do with men, because their egos are at stake, and every man has to be fronted like a superman. And if you say that you've been violated by a woman, it makes you look like a very weak man to the society. So that's uncalled for, and most men just bottle up and they eat it, and they keep eating it, and nobody gets to hear about it. Okay, I was in this relationship where, judging by how we were, I got to know with series of conversation, and over the years dating her, I would name her Mrs. A right now, because I don't want to share any personal information. So Mrs. A was the love of my life during those times, and after much closure, she got to open up with the fact that she got bitten by her ex-boyfriend. He was very rude to her. Most times he'd beat her, and he asked her to go to the kitchen and cook. And when she tried to talk back to anything or tried to go against his point of view, he always led back to beating. And so I do not know. I can't actually say that's the reason why she was acting as she was acting. But then there was a particular day I was supposed to go for an event. My guys already left, and we were in a room together. And I was just about to say goodbye, and she just came to the door and was like, "You're not going anywhere." And I'm like, "We already talked about this." And I was supposed to go for a performance that night, and she's like, "You're not going anywhere. You have to stay back with me. How would you leave me alone?" I thought it was a joke, but it turns out it wasn't a joke. It became very serious, and I urged her to let me go. She was at the door, and she locked the door, held the key, and like, "You're not going anywhere." And she stood in front of the door. I was like, "Can you please excuse me, let me go?" And before I knew it, it turned into she holding my shirt. I'm like, "See, if you want to go anywhere, you'd have to beat me first." And I'm like, "What resulted to this?" And like, no, you have to beat me first. And in that point, it made me realize that this case is actually what turns some men into being the wild person they turn out to be. They change into. And it was a very, very important show. I had to be there, and my guys were calling. I was like, I'm coming, and I couldn't give them a reason why I was delaying. They're waiting for me downstairs, and I'm like, "Can I go?" And she wasn't letting me go. She was holding my shirt. "If you want to go anywhere, you have to beat me." I had to drag the key out of her palm because it was squeezed, and I took the key out, and I had to hold her away from my shirt and open the door with force. Thank God I didn't get to hit her. I had to open the door, still holding her. Then I had to just let her go and dash out of the house. So in that case, what would you call that? Because that would have led to another man in my own picture who wasn't as patient as I am, who would want to vent his, for say, manpower and hit her, and then he's a man beater, and then he wasn't too patient, and then it wasn't safe from the point of view of she caused it, because that was already a domestic abuse on my side, because she was urging me to hit her. She was the person who actually started the whole thing. So there again, there are other cases, and I'm sure people out there could share their own cases of even being beaten by women. Like, they get beaten up and they can't say nothing, or some get, threatened. The woman gets to carry a weapon, a knife, and be like, I'll stab you, and the man is just dumb. And every time you have an argument, is she going or reaching out to a weapon? What would you call that? Oh well, if you feel that you have another view about this, or you feel like you have a personal experience as a man and you want to share about your own domestic abuse story, you can drop a comment in the comment section, and I would really, really love to hear from you. And I'm sure a whole lot of people out there would love to hear from you as well. And this is just to put more light into the fact that domestic violence, either from a male or a female, is wrong. Things in the relationship should be addressed, should be communicated with, and it's a kick against domestic violence for me. So say no to domestic violence. Okay, so if it's your first time on my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, share, and just share this content. It might get to somebody out there that needs to hear this, or a woman out there who wants to change her heart, or a man too who needs to change his mindset as the topic refers domestic violence. It's a very, very, very sensitive thing. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. This is the official first podcast. Drum roll, please. I'll be recording more episodes, and trust me, it's gonna be real talks and real. I'm gonna have positive talks. I'm gonna have a whole lot. You don't want to miss an episode. So guys, stay positive. Bye for now.